Hello. Oh, how are we? Guys, I am so excited to be here because we're talking about a subject that I love, a subject that actually wasn't real for me until I leveled up. And we're talking about how to be the most cherished, the most loved, the most successful woman alive. We're talking about your next level, your next version. And we're going to wait a little bit for people to hop online. Mhm. And we're going to wait a little bit. Oops, sorry. There you go. Okay. So, okay. Um, so yeah, we're talking about this subject that it wasn't real for me at first. I am now engaged and I've spent a lot of my time, a lot of my life, kind of being this toxic woman. Yeah. And I'm going to share what I mean by that because we need to give a definition in order to understand each other better, right? So, um, I used to be the type of woman who didn't have a good communication system for the other person to understand me. So, a successful man wants a conscious woman, usually. Actually, let me word this better. Not just a successful man, because a successful man can also be unconscious. Whoever you attract in your life right now is simply a mirror of you. So if you're attracting a toxic person, it's because you're also toxic. Or maybe you're not toxic, maybe you're a people pleaser and you're just going to lose yourself. And until you notice that you're losing yourself, the pattern is going to continue repeating unless you do something different. So, how can you evolve? How can you become this cherished woman? How can you be the most loved, successful woman? You need to level up. You need to become this version of yourself who doesn't fight when she's triggered, who knows how to handle her emotions. We don't know how to handle our emotions because nobody has ever taught us. Hi, guys. Welcome in. I'm so excited for you to be here. I'm talking about a lovely subject that I think every woman will benefit from. Um, and how do you level up? You have to first notice the way that you're speaking with maybe with your partner or maybe with the people that you're dating. If you'd like, please just ask whatever you need to ask, and then I'll go through the questions once I'm done with the message that I meant to share with you today. Hi, Jennifer. Thank you so much for being here. And I am so happy that you feel met with the videos that I do. Hmm. So, to continue, how which patterns are you repeating right now? The first thing to notice, the first thing to do is to actually see what's going on. Like what type of man you're attracting. If you're attracting this um I'm going to give my example, okay? So in my past relationships, I would attract men who would like like be on Instagram and like and follow different women, right? How did I handle that? Did I just go off on the guy and just tell you, "Hey, why are you doing this?" Instead of me communicating how that made me feel, I would just blame him. A guy, never a man, not even a guy, a man who knows its value, they do not want to be blamed for their actions. He can take, but what do I mean by that? He does not understand you unless you demonstrate how it makes you feel. So if you're not sharing how this is making you feel, he's not going to listen to you. He's going to remember all of the times that his mother maybe complained at him, nagged him, "Hey, don't do this." So there's a mismatch in the communication. Do not blame the man, whatever it is that he's doing. Just share, like, "Hey, this is making me feel unseen. This is making me feel like you're looking and searching for other women." If he's going to understand you, and if it makes you sad, share, like, show him. A guy who's truly in love with you, he'll never want to see you cry. He'll never want to see you sad. But if you show him the version of you that is angry, he's never going to understand. Um, yeah. So how can you be your most successful, your most cherished, the most high version of you, handling your emotions, handling the way that you're portrayed, taking care of yourself will really show outside, will really send this signal that you're just kind of, I don't want to say that we're high maintenance, but you take care of yourself. You notice how you're interacting with other people. When you're really calm and something really affects you, I just gave that example just for the sake of understanding each other. But there's so many examples that you can play out in this situation. Nobody, the type of work that I do in order to level up, you need to rise your frequency. Why do you think whenever you're in presence of other people, some people take away your energy and some people raise your energy? Why do you think that is? Because some people do not know how to interact healthy. That's a question. That's a question that I'm going to answer for another live, but I want to stay on topic because I usually just, yeah. Um I'm engaged. Okay. Let me go over the questions. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome in. Hello, hello, Sri Lanka. Hello, Charles. Hello, Raddy. I'm a woman. Okay, so Ray said something very important that I think I should mention. He says, "Give your life to Christ before it's late. Another human can't be your source of happiness." I completely agree with what he says. because somebody can make you happy only for a certain time, and that's eventually going to fade. And if it fades, who else do you have other than yourself and other than the higher power? Jennifer says, like, make a conversation and try to make him feel better and be like lightly angry, but not too harsh. Yeah. Like, show him that how it affects you emotionally. That's what I mean. Don't scream, don't yell. Just be like, hey, this type of action doesn't really match with who I want in my life. If you say and share what causes you discomfort in a loving way, you will see wonders. And this is like the type of work that I do in the art of becoming, on like how to handle your emotions, how to rewire your brain, how to attract that aligned divine union. We are having, before I continue, we're having a masterclass on identity, how to rewire our identities, because we are in a loop. We are continuing to repeat the same patterns because we are in automatic pilot. We are thinking the same thoughts, we are feeling the same feelings, and that's keeping us stuck because we're continuing doing the same actions. So if you're interested for the masterclass, I invite you. The masterclass is free at the end of this month, in June 30th, to come and join me. If you want to join me, sign on the description box. There's a link which I share, and you can sign up, and I'll send you an email on June 30th, a reminder on June 29th. Um, Jennifer asks, Greta, I have a question. What should you do if you're in a toxic relationship, kind of forced relationship? So, since we're not, I the only thing that I can say right now from what you've described is that to get very clear on what type of relationship you would want. Forget about the relationship you're in right now and think about what you want. Once you can see for yourself what you want, maybe the guy that you're with will fall, will no longer be a match for you because you're leveling up, will no longer be aligned with who you are. And therefore, you need to either decide whether this is a good option for you or not. You have to be very clear in what it is that you want and forget what you have right now for a second. Be very intentional that what a perfect relationship would look like for you. Um, Avrat Randall Rounder asks if I'm married. I am engaged. Thank you for all of your compliments, you guys. This is not AI. I'm a real human being right here sharing everything that I've learned from my past. And yeah, Hello, Jose. Hello, SARS. Hello, Raccoon. Hello, Harry. My name is Greta. Thank you for your compliments. This is this is not pre-recorded. This is live. So if this is resonating and you want to hear more about, dating advice and leveling up, self-mastery, subscribe because I do lives every day around this time, around 1 and 3 o'clock. And yeah. So just to finish the message that I wanted to share right now was that um in order to level up, in order to become this best version of yourself, not even just if you're a woman, like for a guy too, for a man too, you need to rewire your mind because we're all in automatic pilot unless you stop and start to question. But when you start questioning, if you don't really realize everything that's happening in your mind, you're going to continue getting the same results, right? And eventually in one area you're going to be dissatisfied because it serves us, being um in this mask that we've learned how to survive, like this personality that each of us have. This has served us, but at some point in your life it's not going to serve you. At some point in your life you're either going to be unhappy with your job. You're either going to be unhappy because you're not attracting the right partner. You're not making like enough money, and it's going to be up to you whether you choose to do something different. When you choose to do something different, everything changes. You start becoming aware of the thoughts that have been ingrained in you. When you start to notice that all of your thoughts are a part of society, are a part of what you've lived, of your life experiences, of your childhood wounds. And there are really 5 wounds that I'm going to go on further because that conversation, I think, it cannot be on YouTube. It has to be on a container exclusively. The wounds really are stopping us from getting the man, making the promotion, getting a better job. Like all of these situations, they all are intertwined. We're all having the same problems. So let me just see if I went through everything that I want to go through. So, yes, emotions trigger thoughts. Thoughts drive behavior. Behavior reinforces identity, and identity generates more emotions. The loop runs on autopilot. Everything that I've been saying. So once we stop and say, "Hey, this is no longer working." Like everybody has a different vehicle in their life. Everybody has a different reason why they want to level up. One Love Jay says, "What about letting your identity go and just be?" But how can you do that? You have to actually witness how you're being right now and we often don't realize what we're doing. So to rewire this identity is not that easy as I explain it to be. Yes, I have the framework. Yes, I've done the work, and I've been on an identity death for the past 2 years. It has been so uncomfortable. It has been so uncomfortable to be the type of woman to receive from my partner who provides. Why? Because I've been raised in a mindset where I must be independent, and this is not. I am on the way there. It has been so uncomfortable because receiving as a, in this society right now where women want to be successful and also be independent, we do not leave room for men to give. We want more and more and more, and we make men feel emasculated. This, what I'm wearing right now, I wasn't going to touch relationship because I, even though I love this subject, it was the vehicle where my next evolution started. I This outfit that I'm wearing right now, I got proposed to last year in, where was the place? In Europe. I got proposed to, and it was amazing. And I'm only sharing this because that reality can also be for you too. And and just like I said before, I wasn't going to share relationship advice because it goes way beyond relationship. It goes more in how you are as a person, the way that you're being, how you're making people feel. If a man is sharing a gift for you, you're making him feel emasculated because it wasn't expensive enough. Like, how do you expect more gifts to arrive? You're not even like the woman who wants to level up and is not even happy because they're alive. Like, what? Okay, Mick Dawn, I'm not sure if we're a man or a woman, says women have lost their way, more greed, selfish. Really, Satan really got a hold on a lot of you, and that's just the truth. I'm only going to emphasize on the first part. Women have lost their way, greed, more greed and selfish. I can relate with that because we are so focused on what we can get right now, and we're forgetting what we have. We're not grateful. We are so distracted we're just so distracted because we have social media and we continue to compare ourselves to other women. We cannot build in silence. How can you build in silence? How can you do this identity death if you're not getting validation? Maybe for some women, you need to delete social media for a second. Focus on you. Take a look inwards. So, whenever you compare yourself, you're you're giving yourself a disservice. You're not giving yourself enough of everything that you've been able to accomplish. Um, yeah. I really wanted all of the women, please comment down below. Honestly, um, I was going to block people who are like commenting stupid stuff, but whatever. Like I'm so present in the moment right now that my message just continues to be stronger every time. Like I don't have time for the people who don't care about my message. Like just scroll. But the women who are ready, the women who aligned with this type of message, please, I'll wait for you in this masterclass on how to release our emotions, rewire our mind so we can act differently. Yes, I don't stress because this is way more powerful than what you think. Like women are so powerful. Men too. And this time is actually the first time when where men and women are actually like a new emergence of men and women where they have this perfect balance of masculine and feminine are coming into surface. If you are I don't want to name you toxic because you're not the problem. Like you just need to include awareness into your life to become something different. It's not because you're broken, it's because you haven't been aware until today. Once you start noticing what's happening, then everything changes. And it's not going to happen overnight. So this is for the type of women who want to work inside for not just not just for the masterclass, but for the rest of your life. Because that's the reason why we are here, for evolution, not for just some, not for a viral moment. Um yeah. And the more that you stop and actually just witness other people, you can be a mirror for them. Because whatever you whatever triggers you, that's there's a deeper reason for that trigger. There's a deeper um emotion that you're holding on to. So if silly comments don't trigger you, then you can show up and be your most authentic self. I mean, like haters are always to be, they're always going to be on the internet. Like, not even haters, but like people who just are bored with their life. That does not define you. If somebody triggers you, if something triggers you, there's something deeper that you haven't accepted. And this may show up in your relationships, in your friendships, with your parents, the people that are surrounding you. They don't trigger you on purpose, or they might trigger you on purpose, but they're almost like the vehicle for you to stop being triggered for something that just needs to be witnessed. I'm actually from Peru. Yeah. So what else? Oops, sorry. Um, to finish the thought, to finish this life, um, there was a Greta, me. There was a version of myself that didn't know how to attract the right man before. I didn't know how to be this or hold this version of myself that was just calm and like was just able to hold her emotions without blaming other people. We or me, I spent so many times blaming other people for what I felt. I used to be like, no, it's because he did this or she did this. It's not because it wasn't because of them. It was because I didn't witness what had happened in my childhood. So yeah, we don't know how much we're holding on to, and the heaviness is causing us to not level up. I've been working on this for such a long time, and I'm so excited to actually finally do this container, like share this knowledge live in an exclusive container. And if you join my live um this June 30th, I'll be more than happy, more than privileged, because this teaching wouldn't happen if you weren't here. Um, Jake says, sounds very responsible. Personal responsibility is akin to right righteous people, and that's attractive. Yes. There is if you're in a relationship, there's one thing as responsibility and then hyper responsibility. We can go into deeper in another life, but taking responsibility for your action is like the first step to awareness, the first step to evolution, the first step to actually being like, yeah, I'm aware of like me not acting in alignment. I'm aware that I've been blaming him and maybe it's my fault. Maybe I can communicate better. Maybe I can be something better. What's the opposite of what? Like being responsible, being a victim. If you're a victim, being called a victim for some people is that equals to being irresponsible. I'm sorry, being immature. But my work or the masterclass intention is not just defining responsible the responsibility and victimhood. Like it's way deeper than that, because once you step into responsibility, take you don't want to take responsibility for something that does not belong to you. So that's where boundaries come in. That's where you can say, oh, I can see that she's going through this, but I am not her savior. I am not her hero. Unless she's asking for, most people give unwanted advice. I don't think that happens a lot for men, but for women, most women give unwanted advice. Like, stop. Nobody has asked you. Just keep that in. Hold that in for yourself. Thank you for all of your compliments, guys. What I don't know what your question is. And if I go up, I'm not gonna be able to like answer. So I'm going happy birthday, Paul. So um once you like we never stop to question because it's psychologically expensive. People do not go deep because the deeper questions are uncomfortable to sit with. So there's we go back to like all of the core of the questions, like, and then I wrote down a couple of questions that we may stop and say, but how come I'm thinking this way? And one of the four questions were, why do societies work this way? Why do humans behave this way? Why consciousness at all? Like how, why existence? And to think about this almost puts us in a place where it puts us in paralysis. So instead of asking ourselves questions that are not for us to answer, maybe we can start with ourselves. When we do that, um, we can start taking responsibility for our actions, for our emotions, for our mind and how our mind is working, because the way that you're thinking is the results that you have right now is the reason of your emotions and your thoughts and everything that you've lived in this lifetime. I am spiritual. Anyway, um so how can a woman be her most magnetic self? How can a woman be the most cherished, the most loved, the most, fun? And we have to take life in a different way, that you have to see life in a different way from what you've watched it so far. Thank you for your comments. I don't even know how to block. But anyway, um I think that's all that I needed to share with you today. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Let me know if you have any questions before I leave. Before I leave, I would love to personally invite you. I know I've said it a bunch of times, but let me just share one more time. Please, I would love to have you in my masterclass. This masterclass is going to be so good because we're talking about identity death. We're talking about how to control our emotions and actually feel them, to like level our frequency and to hold that desire that we are desiring. How can you be the most cherished, the most loved woman? Um, by leveling up, you have to measure what that means first. All right. Thank you so much. And I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Oh, sorry. I'm spiritual. So, yes, I believe in God. I believe in the higher power and the higher spirit. Um, Hi, thank you so much for your compliments. Was that a booger? I don't know. No, do I have a booger? Yes, I support all people. So everyone is welcome here. I think even though I may talk to women directly because I'm a woman and we can better understand each other of what we've been through. Um Even though I talk to directly to women, if people feel identified or people can take the bigger message of my content, please welcome in because healing is for everyone, not just for women. That's what I think. The form for the masterclass is actually on the description box. I'm going to share it with you right now, 1 second, and pin it in the comments. I don't know if I can do this. Let's see. I don't know why it's not letting me. That's weird. Yeah, it's not letting me for some reason, but if you go down to the masterclass, you can actually see um the the link. It says sign up to masterclass and you'll see the link on the description box, all right? Thank you so much for your compliments. Um, how do you get saved with the higher power? What does he want from you? How do you get to know him? I think it's more of like a belief. I think it's more of a connection. Um I mean my belief system, I was in a brought up in a Catholic all girls school. So I think I'm aligned just because I was like raised and I got that education from me. Um, Whenever I have doubts, whenever I'm stuck, I ask for guidance, and I ask to a higher power. I ask to God. I'm like, hey, God, please, if I'm walking in the wrong steps, guide me and reroute me to the correct path. And that's deeply like, if I feel so good after and I can like take in some peace. And I think it's about meaning, and I think it's about having this belief that you're deeply 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 supported no matter what. A shark, something shark says, how do you know what's bad or good? What's Can you tell me Can you tell me like a more specific question? Okay. I, okay, so Saint Noor asks, when is the right age to get married? Um, that's a good question. Well, I'm engaged right now and I'm 30. I think before I would have said 25, but now with the knowledge that I have, I think it's way better to, like, your brain fully develops, finishes developing at age 32. So I think in the 30 is a good age. I think your 20s is to get like those years you get to know yourself. You're too young. But what do I know? It really depends on the person, because I know people that have been together since a very young age, and they get married very young. So it really depends. Like, it doesn't matter what I believe, it really depends on the person. Depends on, like, on whatever it is that they're going through, if that makes sense, you know? Because we all are walking different paths. For me to tell you, oh, this is the right age to get married, it may not be true for you. So I don't believe in just one fixed answer. I was married at 19, 24 years ago with 5 kids. Congratulations. Wow, that's amazing. That's great. I want to have a big family as well. So Coconuts Are Real says, pray Catholics pray to Mary, a character of no importance other than birth in Jesus. I think um that's why I said I am spiritual. So I believe that there's a higher power. I believe that God is, real. So whatever you want to call this higher power, it is up to you. I'm like, I don't force any beliefs upon whoever follows me. What I suggest is that, yes, maybe you should believe that there's something bigger than yourself, because that belief for humans is essential. To believe that there is something bigger than us can really um kind of guide us in the right path, for a lack of a better word. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here with me. I've really enjoyed this. Um, and I'll wait for you tomorrow in the next one. Okay, I'll be here tomorrow at 3, and I'll wait for you there. Bye.